Hi, this is Al Harris. Today we're going to be talking about the business control panel, the first basic page you should access, and how to get your first configuration built so that you can easily measure the primary metrics you're looking at. Once you get logged in, you're going to have an array of tabs here on the left. First place I want you to go is the tab called Multi-Shop. Don't worry, if you only have one location, this is still the primary tab we should be using. Once we get to Multi-Shop, you're going to see your shop default selected right at the top here in these drop downs, and you're going to have select a new KPI here. Thirdly, you're going to have the time range you want to view up in the top right. First, let's grab a couple KPIs. You can either click here and use a scroll wheel or type into search. First, we're going to grab ARO, we'll grab car count, and let's grab revenue. Now that we've got our three main metrics here, let's talk about organizing this page so it's as easy as possible for us to view and see what we're looking for. We've got two settings up here. We've got a little yin-yang looking symbol, which will actually invert the shop up at the top here with the metrics. We'll click it and I'll show you what I mean. So now, instead of having your shop selected as the drop-down or the column, you now have the metrics as the column and the shops as rows. Down here, you could add a secondary shop if you are a multi-shop owner. If not, this is my preferred view where you can see your metrics left to right. You are limited to 5 metrics, but usually that's enough to look at for one configuration anyways. Second, we have this plus or minus. All that does is either hide or show the individual employee measurements for that particular metric. We're going to leave it open so that we can talk about how to use this. Lastly, like we mentioned, we have the time frame up here. If we wanted to switch this from, say, 30 days to 7 days, simply change it here, and the metrics will reflect that change. Let's talk about some of the percentages here and some of the other indicators we have. First off, let's look at ARO. In the top right, you're going to have your actual measurement for the time frame. So, average repair order for the last 7 days, 722. You have your goal down here at the left. On your shop, you will see a pencil button right here where you can edit your goal if it is incorrect. You have your percentage to goal, and all that is taking your current measurement and comparing it to goal. So here we can see we're actually over goal, hence why we are above 100%. Next is probably the most valuable percentage, in my opinion, on this page, which is your trend. And what this does is tell you current measurement compared to previous time period. So for example, this can be interpreted. For the last 7 days, our ARO is 28% higher than the previous 7 days. This tells you if you're doing better or worse in a certain metric compared to the previous time period. So a great percentage to look at if you are actively working on improving a certain metric. The next percentage I'm going to skip over. We don't need to take that into account right now. This simply measures periods at the beginning of the time period versus at the end. And at this point, I don't have any great use cases where this is valuable, so I ignore it for now. Next at the bottom, we're going to have it broken down by employee. So for this particular time period, we have the 3 different service advisors and their average repair order for that time period. You also get a little trend icon to the right of them, a little green arrow or a little red arrow. And if you hover over it, will actually tell you the percentage difference. So for example, here, I don't think it's showing up in the recording, but it says -27. You will see this if you hover over it. So how we can interpret this is Elaine's ARO of 822 is 27% lower than the previous 7 days. So it functions very similar to this trend section percentage measurement here. Those are all the basic outlines of the metrics, indicators, and different configurations you can use in the business control panel in Multi-Shop. The last thing, debatably the most important, once you get the metrics you want to view, we'll use this example here, and the time frame you want to view them on. If you want this configuration to look at in the future, what you're going to do is click Save As, and it will save your current configuration, however you have it set, the time frame, the metrics, etc. Exactly how you have it set. And that way I can hit Save here, call it whatever I want. In fact, I might even put 7 days to indicate that this is a 7-day report. And when I hit Save, this report is now going to be listed in my drop-down of configurations. Now, I have quite a few in here. You'll only have one or a couple if you've been in here before, but be sure to save your configurations It's much easier to switch between configurations than rework all these different metrics each time. And just for reference, I usually have a advisor metrics I look at, I have technician metrics I look at, and I have shop overview metrics I look at, and occasionally CRM or retention metrics as well. So I usually have anywhere between 3 and 4 different configurations. That way I don't have to look at 20 metrics all at once. I can break it down into different categories. I hope that's been helpful. Let me know if you've got any questions. You can either leave a comment or email me directly, al.harris@autovitalsinc.com. We'll be back with more videos in the future for more in-depth business control panel training. I hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.